Greetings, my champions of the light, and welcome back to another episode of Light Be With You. In the last episode, we ended our journey by venturing to Dunmorrow, but now the time has come. We must venture out into Dunmorrow. However, my friends, we would soon come across a terrible sight. In the top right of the screen, the minimap shows we are in Layer 4. Now, the reason Layer 4 is so bad for us is it's a very empty layer. Typically, Layer 1 would be the most populated layer, followed by Layer 2 and then 3, and then 4, I suppose. Now, typically, being on Layer 4 would be considered a blessing. You have the least amount of competition for quests, and also all of the ores and herbs you could dream of. However, as you know, a priest like me relies on other players to get quests done, and my friends, due to being on Layer 4, there aren't that many players in need of aid. This means my ability to level may be severely impeded this episode. However, my friends, despite being stuck on Layer 4, you will see in this episode that we were still able to make some great progress in our adventures. Our first task is an easy one. All we have to do is collect some ammo from an abandoned camp. Even better, there aren't even any enemies nearby. And being on such an empty layer, there are plenty of herbs to gather and ores to mine. And if we do survive today, we will surely be quite well off in the ores and herbs department. We bring the ammo to Rumbleshot, and upon turning in the ammo, well, let's just say they begin some sort of roleplay. It turns out that the Game Masters had planned this all along. You know, it's details like these that really make the world of Azeroth special. This little scenario here involves two dwarf riflemen practicing their aim against various targets. It's completely unnecessary and random, and doesn't really serve any purpose. In fact, every time you make a gnome or dwarf character in Classic WoW, you probably walk right past this without even noticing. And after the dwarven riflemen have had their shooting competition, we are shown what appears to be some dwarves straight out of Warcraft 3, firing the ammo out of the mortar cannon. This entire time they were just using the ammo recreationally anyway. A complete waste of time if you ask me. After the dwarves stop messing around, and I decide to continue on in my adventures, perhaps I will find another quest to do. I gather more Peace Bloom and Silverleaf. I even gather some Earthroot, and along the way I ensure I mine every copper ore in sight. In a previous episode we learned that by smelting copper and auctioning it, we can make quite a bit of coin. I follow the trail of herbs and ores, and I end up in a mountain pass. It looks quite serene, but I soon come across a terrible sight, a pile of meat left in the snow to freeze. Man, what do you know, it leads right up to a cave. This cave, unfortunately, houses a very scary yeti. I venture up the hill and I find a dwarf in another cave. This dwarf, Tundra McGran, offers some woolly mittens which will surely do me well in this cold climate. All I have to do is sneak into the yeti cave and grab the meat locker. Without the supply of meat, the dwarf would surely starve to death. Now, I couldn't really go in the cave. Old Icebeard would surely absolutely destroy me. And as I stood there pondering what I could possibly do, Old Icebeard actually just left the cave for a little jog around the mountain. This was a perfect opportunity to sneak in and acquire the goods. And just as I left the cave, guess who came running back? And after Old Icebeard returned from his morning run, well, let's just say he'll probably need to find something else for breakfast. I returned the meat of logger to Tundra McGran and equipped the new woolly mittens. They looked quite stylish. I even found some supplies had fallen out of Tundra McGran's hideout. I found Brunel Village, and I quickly looked for any quests that I may still be able to do that don't involve direct combat. I asked in the general chat if anyone needed my aid, but I was met with silence. I headed back to Karanos and took some Thunder Ale from the inn. I returned this Thunder Ale to Brunel Village and was granted some nice experience points. Then I decided to make an attempt at gathering the Shimmerweed for the Shimmerweed Stout. And however, I soon realized that there's no way I can collect any of this Shimmerweed, not even from the baskets. There are just simply too many dangerous trolls lurking around. To be fair, I did make several attempts, I waited for patrollers and I snuck around when I saw an opening. But ultimately, there was no way I was going to be able to collect any of these baskets of shimmerweed without another player to at least cause a distraction. I decided there wasn't much that I could do in this Dunmorrow, and although I'd done a few quests, I was quickly realizing that, well, I was getting a bit screwed over by this whole layering system. What is a priest like me supposed to do in a layer like this? I traveled eastward, collecting everything I could along the way, the whole time thinking of ways that I could earn some experience points. I traveled through the Northgate outpost in the far east of Dunmorrow, where I met a dwarf who asked me to find his friend. I sure did find his friend. He'd been mauled to death by a bear, and upon turning in the quest and earning some experience, I realized I would not be able to do the follow-on quest to kill the bear in revenge. I even tried to sneak a cup raw, but a snow leopard pounced out from the bushes and almost killed me. Still, I continued on to Loch Madan. I had picked up a quest from Stormwind in the Dwarven district, and all I had to do was deliver a package to Stormpike, a dwarf in Loch Madan. And here I was, and he for sure gave me a healthy dose of experience points. Even better, he asked me to return. All I had to do was go back to Stormwind, and I'd get even more experience points. I made my way to the beautiful serene village of Thalsamar. Inside the inn there was a quest from the innkeeper. All I had to do was collect some reagents from various animals and creatures. That goes against our holy commandments. We must harm no creatures. We must sacrifice for others, doing everything within reason to save lives. We must not beg for carries or aid. And as we had been following these holy commandments from the start, I wasn't going to break them anytime soon. In the last episode, my disciples, I actually had asked you guys whether it was acceptable for me to use the bag of marbles on Hogger. Many of you commented below the video and gave your opinion. And overwhelmingly, it appears, in fact, I couldn't find a single comment that said otherwise. Every comment said that I was justified in my actions. Therefore, my disciples, I am proud to announce that the light has permitted, through your actions, that I may use any spell or item against an enemy creature, so long as it does not cause any damage. This could be very useful indeed, you see. There are several spells available to priests at higher levels. Least of all, abilities like Mind Soothe would be very useful, which I can't wait to get, provided I survive that long. This will allow us to go places that no priest has ever gone before. And why do I accept this quest? Well, my friends, you see, these animal parts that we are tasked with collecting. You see, they are also crafting reagents. This means there's a good chance that they can be purchased on the auction house. Back in Ironforge, I make my way to the auction house and use my vast sums of coin that I earned from our mining expedition to buy boar intestines, bear meat, spider ichor, and I even buy some crafting reagents for other quests, including beer-basted boar ribs, and even the reagents required for Westfall's stew. Now, I could have bought other reagents, but they were far too expensive. So I will collect these reagents from the mailbox, and then we will set out. I use the Hearthstone to return us to Karanos' inn, the Thunderbrew distillery, and what do you know, I pop up right by the innkeeper, who sells us one Rhapsody malt, and combined with the Cragboar ribs, I am able to turn in this quest and earn some experience points. I then make the long journey eastward, doing even more collecting along the way. I venture through the Southgate Pass, and I am brought right next to Thalsamar once more. And what do you know? I'm able to turn in the crafting reagents and get that quest completed, earning even more XP and leveling to level 10. This is quite the milestone for a priest like me, and I didn't have to slay a single foe. Now, we're not done yet. I venture to the Deep Run Tram from Ironforge, and I meet with the rat exterminator Monty, who offers me a quest to simply lure some rats so that he can package them up. Without doing a single point of damage, I'm able to use the rat catcher's flute to lure the rats to my side. I give them to Monty, and he quickly packages them up into boxes. Monty even gives me a package and sends me on my way to Stallman. At the other side of the tram, I meet with his brother, Nipsey, who happens to be a deep-run rat kebab specialist. I give him the rats, and he gives me a mild amount of experience. However, I'm probably not going to eat these rat kebabs, so I sell them right back to him, and I venture back into Stormwind City, where I turn in the quest to Fur and Longbeard that Stormpike had given me earlier. The experience points are flowing in, but I'm not done yet. I make a quick detour to the bank and drop off my supplies. I'm surely going to make quite a bit of coin from all this copper ore, but I'm not smelting today. I leave the safety of Stormwind City, and I travel into the Elwyn Forest. When I emerge, I am beside the forest edge, near a bridge bordering Westfall. In Westfall, I'm able to pick up a quest to deliver the recipe of Westfall stew to Salma Saldine. I reach the Saldine's farm, and I give Salma Saldine the recipe for Westfall stew. I gain a bit of experience points, but the exciting part is when she gives me the quest to collect the animal parts for Westfall stew. Like with the Thelsomar blood sausages, I already have all the reagents that I had purchased from the auction house. I turn in the stringy vulture meat, murloc eyes, gortus snout, and even the okra to Salma Saldine in record time. She's probably quite surprised by my efficiency and offers me 900 experience points in return. I take this opportunity to travel to Sentinel Hill, and I turn in a quest that I'd collected from Marshal McBride quite some time ago. Quartermaster Lewis inside the tower even sends me on a quest to simply go to Stormwind City. And I take the flight path back to Stormwind City, and I venture to Old Town, to Ostrich Strang, the heavy armor merchant. He gives me 420 experience points, and sends me right back. Now, my friends, I have to be honest with you. When I woke up this morning and saw that I was on layer 4, my heart sank. However, by persevering, we're actually not that far away from level 11. All we had to do was think smart, and use our funds that we had acquired through our gathering professions to simply purchase the reagents for these quests. However, my friends, I do hope that next episode we will not be on layer 4. I have to be completely honest with you, I have no idea how to swap layers. So if anyone could comment below and tell me how to swap layers so that I don't end up on layer 4 again, that would be excellent, because I honestly thought I was screwed over today. But we made it quite far, we made quite a bit of progress, and I'm going to get smelting that ore next time, and I'm sure we'll make quite a bit of coin once more. So my friends, until next time, and thank you for watching, and if you liked this video, please remember to subscribe so you don't miss the next one. I release one of these bad boys every single Monday. So, until next time, my friends, good day, and light be with you.